Hello and welcome back to the Fully Me channel. My name is Jazelle and I'm happy that you're here today. For our topic, I really wanted to address this idea of self-esteem, self-concept, and self-love, the differences between the three and why it is uber important for you to know them. Previously, although I knew that each of these had different names, a lot of times I use them interchangeably. I thought they're similar enough, they're probably meaning the same thing, so they are the same. And while they are dealing with similar topics, mainly yourself, they are different. And it's really, really important for you to understand why they are different because they hit different parts. And by tapping into each of those different areas, the definitions that they each contain and that they each cover, it gives you a more well-rounded, whole effect when you are considering doing work or improving or just up-leveling yourself as a person in your creative career, your family, your relationships, your health, all across the board. So this is super, super important. Before I jump into that, I just want to offer and bring attention to our sister channel that we have, Miss Alchemy. And Miss Alchemy, that channel covers a lot and just gives a lot of resources and tools and talks a lot about how the thoughts that you have shape your world. And it gives you different resources in order to change, adjust, improve, heal, different areas in your life that you want to. When we want to go to the next level, a lot of times what stops us are our thoughts or our actions, which are led by our thoughts. And so really tackling that with simple tools, don't overdo it, will really help you and equip you to go to that next level that you desire to go to. So I want to put a plug in there. I'll leave some information below. So at the end of this video, if you feel like this is something I actually would like help with, and an easy way for you to go on, put on repeat, listen while you're doing other things, listen at night, you have multiple sources there. So Miss Alchemy is our channel, our sister channel, and you definitely want to check it out. Now, as I said before, I really thought self-concept, self-esteem. First I was like, wait, what is self-concept? And then I was like, I kind of know I know what self-esteem is. I know what self-love is, but they all are dealing with yourself, so they're kind of the same, right? No, they're not. And there are so many videos all over the place, but I found one that lined them up side by side and explained the difference in such a simplistic and beautiful and clear way. I will leave a link to this video in the description box because it's so good. And so I'm gonna give you those definitions according to Dr. Miles Monroe. And then I'm also gonna give you a couple of examples of how he helped to really flush it out for me. The first one that we're gonna tackle is self-esteem. And self-esteem is really how much you value yourself, the level of value that you have for yourself. This also coincides with how much you believe that you are worth. And so how you value yourself, how much you think that you are worth, once you have a solidified idea of that, this helps you to prevent others from applying their level of worth on you. Whether it's super high, which you can be knocked down, or whether it's super low to the point where it doesn't even meet your level. An example that he gave is, say I give you a diamond ring that's worth $50,000 and I give you a plastic ring out of a cereal box, right? Or the Cracker Jack box. What will you do with that? Each of these items, it is the value that you attribute to it, which allows you to either take care of it and care for it, or to really not care about it at all. And it's like, it could be here or it could not be here. This is saying how you also feel about yourself, the level of value that you apply to yourself. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a number amount or a money amount because we are one of a kind, you and me. So the number cannot even be applied to us, but value, worth can be. You know, how you present yourself, how you take care of yourself, that is value. How you allow other people to treat you, that is value or not. And also in different relationships, if a person can, like you can be here or you cannot be here, well, that's letting you know the type of value they are attributing to you. And so understanding that self-esteem is value. It is how much you are worth. Changes everything. At least it did for me. The next one that we're going to tackle is self-concept. So we hear self-concept a lot. We see videos on it. How can you improve your self-concept? We have subliminals, we have affirmations, we have meditations on self-concept. And I think it's all wonderful and beautiful and great. But what the heck is self-concept? What is it and how does it differ from the other self blank that we see a lot of. And so I love this because you can go to the dictionary and you can find your definition there, but I felt like this was so great. Self-concept, in simple layman terms, is the picture that you have of yourself. What is the picture that you have of yourself? And so when you combine that simplified version or definition with all of the different videos on how you can improve your self-concept, it makes sense. It's like bing, 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 bing. I get it now, right? Because the self-concept, this picture of yourself, is really what it is targeting. The question for you is, what picture do you have of yourself? Whether it is one when you are literally looking in the mirror, what are the thoughts that are running through your mind when you see yourself, or when you are not even looking in the mirror, but in your mind's eye and you think about yourself, what picture is conjured up? Is it one of beauty and grace? Is it one of problems and like it's gonna always be? Is it one who's like, oh, she's kind of intelligent, maybe not? What do you think of yourself? What picture do you have of yourself right now? And if it's on the kind of like lower end, then what picture would you like to have about yourself? When you think of yourself, do you get like this pride? Do you have like the spine of your back kind of straightens up a bit because you're like, yeah, I am pretty good, aren't I? Or is it kind of like, dang, yeah, I got a lot to work on. Here's what you should know. We all have a lot to work on, right? And some of us have, it's super, super stacked to the ceiling, and some of us have been chipping away at that, but we all still have things to work on. Anytime you are done working, you are dead. So know that it does not matter that you still have stuff to work on. Don't allow that to lessen yourself in your own eyes. The way that our brain works is we take a word and we apply an image to it. So when I say elephant, immediately, it's not the word in your mind that's like elephant. You see the spelled out. Maybe some of you do, but for the most part, you get an image of this elephant. If I say a purple elephant, even though it doesn't exist outside of books, you immediately, your brain is trying to correlate, okay, I know this isn't real, but this is how it would look. You get a picture. If I say a fork, there's that picture. Essentially, the self-concept is the image of you that comes to your mind. When you want to improve your self-concept, you want to improve the image or the picture that you have of yourself in your own mind. An example that Dr. Miles Monroe gave of this, while you appreciate others saying, oh, you look nice, you don't need it. You're not waiting for it. You're not walking down the street like, okay, I'm waiting. I know I look nice, but I'm waiting for someone to tell me, almost as if it's confirmation. You already know it, so you don't need someone to tell you. He makes this joke like, someone says, you look nice. He was like, well, I don't need you to tell me I look nice. I already know that I look nice. I told myself I look nice before I left the house this morning. Again, we like to hear, oh, you look nice. That's cute and that's wonderful and it feels good. It really does. Compliments are amazing and I love to give them out as well as receive them. However, it's important that you already have an image of yourself. Now, our last one for this video is self-love. And honestly, self-concept, self-esteem, self-confidence, all of those things, many that we're not gonna cover here in this video, but they all attribute back to love. Love, 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 right? There's faith, hope, but the greatest of these is love. Love, and then it's love for yourself. Considering this term self-love, it's really focusing on the affection that you have towards yourself, the concern that you have towards yourself, the importance that you place upon yourself within yourself. When we love someone, that person becomes so dear to us. When they call us, we pick up. If they need something, we're there. If they're hurt, we're like, listen, let me help you. How can I help you? Let me protect you. How can I cover you? Right? So we are doing all of that externally. We're pushing that out because this is the person that we love. Now we take all of those actions and we put it on ourselves. Self-love is really placing importance and care upon ourselves. How am I doing? How am I feeling? Something's going wrong. Okay, let me take some time and really sit and figure out what I can do to help, what I can do to change the situation, what I can do to comfort myself, what I can do to spend some time with myself, improve myself, and make myself feel good about myself. So all of those things that we would normally give to someone else, an external person that we care deeply for and we find are important, we take all of those and we place it upon ourselves. That is self-love. love. Why is this so important? It's so important because there's a scripture that is in the Bible, and I really love the scripture, but essentially this person is asking Jesus, out of all of these commandments that we have, because they have a lot, right? Out of all of these commandments that we have, which one is the most to follow? And so Jesus gives them the response, love the Lord your God with all of your heart, soul, mind, strength. But then he also adds, and love your neighbor as you love yourself. And so many times what we found in loving is sending it external first. That's loving our neighbor, that's loving another. However, what comes before that step is loving ourselves, because the way that we love ourselves is the template for how we can love someone else. Loving ourselves lets us know that we can love someone else. Loving ourselves lets us know, ooh, this feels good. Let me give this to someone else. Love ourselves lets us know that we are filled up and now we're overflowing and now we can share that with someone else. Loving ourselves comes first. This is super important because a lot of times we find ourselves in unhealthy situations, unhealthy relationships, because we are attempting to love externally first. And we have not mastered loving internally, which means that we can get ourselves into some situations that are a little questionable, or like, ooh, maybe we should not be in that relationship, because we don't have that check and balance within ourselves. We haven't checked in within ourselves to verify this feels good, this doesn't feel good, and I have a right to say this feels good and this does not feel good. An example that Dr. Miles Monroe gives, he's like, you know what? One of the reasons why my wife is so safe is because I love myself. I can take myself out to dinner. I go out to dinner and I buy stuff for myself. What I wear is something that I enjoy for myself. I go out and do these things for myself. Why? Because I love myself. So if you do something for me, thank you. I appreciate it. Okay, but if you choose not to do it, it's okay. You know why? Because I love myself and I give it to myself first. So I am already full, whether you give me love or you decide to not give me love, or you give me love and then you take it away. While that could sting, it does not put you to a point of depletion because you already love yourself. Whew. Now, it would be really silly of me to say that, hey, this is the information, you got it, and now run with it. Because these things take a little bit of time. Even though you have the information, it won't necessarily become a habit overnight. This is something that you take in and you allow it to sink in, and you begin to put it into place and into play in your everyday life. And sometimes it's simply just hearing it and then hearing it again and then hearing it again that allows for it to become ingrained in your mind, thoughts, systems, into your action, and make it a lot more easier to become a habit. It's also really great that you understand the differences between these three, because it allows for you to know what to look for. It allows for you within yourself to see any red flags within the way that the image that you have of yourself, that self-concept, right? Or the value that you place on yourself or you allow others to attribute to you, that's self-esteem. Or how important that you think of yourself, or the concern that you have for yourself, and the giving to your own self, that is self-love. This allows for you to see any red flags, whether in yourself or in your relationships, and decide to make those changes for the better, because the higher level you go up, some of the nonsense will have to fall off. I totally believe that this video was meant for you. I believe that you got something out of it. And if you agree, be sure to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell for the next video. But most importantly, share this with someone else. Share this with someone else. Get the conversation started so that we have so much and we can give some out. Until next time, live fully.